In 1975, West Yorkshire, a serial killer was on the loose. 13 women dead, many more injured, and the police were left scrambling like eggs in a pan, trying to find their killer. Imagine spending millions of dollars, countless man hours, and even going to get a psychic reading just to come back with absolutely all. Today we're looking at the story of a prank gone horribly wrong. I don't know if you can even really call this a prank. It was more of a perversion of justice. It was more of like a messed up dude who was calling the police, but I guess it technically falls under the realm of pranks. Now, we've all done some pranks here and there. We've all had that phase where we call the Wendy's and burn down the local orphanage. We've all done some pranking in our youth. But this guy John, he took it a step further. So yeah, we got a good one for you today. Buckle in and enjoy the ride. At the time, John Humble was 23 years old, was bitter, angry at the world, and probably smelled like an ashtray inside of a toilet. He loved Jack the Ripper, hated cops, and had just enough knowledge on the case to make the police believe that he was the real killer. He wasn't the killer, but he really wanted to be. So what does our hero do? He writes letters to the police. Now, these aren't just any random scribblings. These letters contain facts that only somebody very knowledgeable of the case would know. He makes sure they're creepy, because he's a creepy guy, and he also includes an audio tape. Let's give that tape a little listen.
I'm Jack. I see you are still having no luck catching me. I have the greatest respect for you, George, but Lord, you are no nearer catching me now than 4 years ago when I started. I reckon your boys are letting you down, George. They can't be much good, can they? The only time they came near catching me was a few months back in Chapeltown when I was disturbed. I warned you in March that I'd strike again. Sorry it wasn't Bradford. I'm not quite sure when I'll strike again, but it will be definitely sometime this year. I'm not sure where. Maybe Manchester. I like it there. There's plenty of them knocking about. They never learn, do they, George? I bet you've warned them, but they never listen. Well, it's been nice chatting to you, George. Yours, Jack the Ripper.
The tape was creepy, sinister, and most importantly, had a distinct Sunderland accent, which is why he was given the name Wearside Jack, Wearside being a district in Sunderland. And here's where it gets unbelievably stupid. The police bought it. Despite the actual crimes happening in West Yorkshire, the police moved the focus of their investigation to Sunderland due to the fact that John had a Sunderland accent. One of the victim's husbands actually insisted that this guy couldn't be the killer because the real killer didn't have a Sunderland accent, but the police, they were convinced. They said, no, I know your wife got attacked by this guy and he didn't have an accent, but we know what we're talking about. Turns out they had no idea what they were talking about. The police actually had their heads so far up their own asses that they had the real killer, Peter Sutcliffe, in the interrogation room multiple times, but they let him go because he didn't have a Sunderland accent. And he went on to kill 3 more people in that time. This was more than just a little bit of trolling. This was police interference that had deadly consequences. And now, being the fact that it happened in the 1970s, they weren't able to trace John with any forensic evidence. See, this is before all the DNA testing was really a thing. So John remained free for quite some time. He actually licked the envelope that he sent to the police. Because back then, he didn't know that you could get caught from saliva samples. He was just sending his silly little letters to the police. And, but it came back to get him. This letter would sit in an evidence locker for decades, until 2005, where it was re-examined and tested and traced back to John Humble. When police finally showed up to arrest him, John confessed immediately, offering no resistance at all, confessing to the police, saying, "Yep, nah, that was me. I'm a twat." In 2006, John was sentenced to 8 years in prison for perverting the course of justice. If you ask me, that sounds like a pretty light sentence, considering the fact that he helped a real-life serial killer evade arrest and go on to murder 3 more people. In 2009, he was released after 3 years of his 8-year sentence and went on to live a quiet life until he died at the age of 63 in 2019. From what I can tell, his life was pretty unremarkable other than that one thing he did. He kind of just lived a quiet life. He was a drunk. He stayed at home, lived with family, didn't really talk to anybody outside of his brother and sister. He was kind of a loser. And that's more or less the story of Wareside Jack. What makes this case so scary isn't the fact that he pretended to be a serial killer. It's the fact that the police actually believed him. And in doing this whole prank, 3 people managed to get murdered because the real killer was set loose and they couldn't find him. So next time you feel like pulling a prank, maybe call the local Pizza Hut or send your ex a glitter bomb, right? Don't pretend to be a serial killer in an ongoing murder investigation, because you might end up hurting somebody, and that wouldn't be very nice. But hey, what do I know? I'm just some guy on the internet. If you're still watching, thank you for watching. This is a new sort of type of video I'm doing. I don't really do true crime or anything, but maybe I'll do a little bit more of this. We're all about experimenting here, trying new things, making new friends. And if you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. Please subscribe. I got a lot of good stuff coming. And yeah, this has been the story of Wareside Jack. I hope you liked it. And if you didn't like it, I'm sorry. Thanks for watching.